Hey everybody, it's Pastor John with your Midweek Moment for this week. And this week I'd like to talk to you about two things. First thing is I have an announcement to make, and that is that we're going to be doing a new service this year during the holiday season. Well, actually it's a service we did for the first time online last year, but this year it's actually going to be live and in person. What I'm talking about is a Blue Christmas service. A Blue Christmas service is a service for people for whom the holiday season is not necessarily a happy time. It's for people who maybe have suffered an important loss in their lives or are still remembering an important loss in their lives. It's for people who are facing difficult times, maybe, unemployment, maybe depression, whatever it is. There are always people who are in that boat when the holiday season rolls around. There are always people for whom, for one reason or another, the holiday season is not as happy as everybody seems to think that it's supposed to be. And if you're one of those folks, or if you know someone who's one of those folks, we're going to have that service right here in church on Sunday, December 19th, beginning at 5 p.m. And something that's, I think, exciting about it is not only will we be having the service, but we'll be having it jointly with our friends at St. Andrew's. So Father Douglas from St. Andrew's is going to come up and he's going to help me lead the service. And then next year, we'll have the service down at St. Andrew's. So we hope that between our two churches, it becomes an annual tradition, because I think it's something that a lot of people would find useful at this time of year. And maybe more people than you might think. So that's my announcement. Our Blue Christmas service this year is going to be on Sunday, December 19th, 5 p.m., right here in church, along with our friends from St. Andrew's. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about is moving. Now, as you all know, I moved recently from Kent to New Milford. And if you've ever moved, and at one time or another, probably all of you have, you know that even under the best of circumstances, moving is not what you'd call fun. And I've got more experience at this than some people, I suppose, because as I was getting ready to talk to you about this, I added it up. And I think in the last 8 or 9 years, I have moved 6 different times. So I've got a lot of experience at this, but you don't need a lot of experience to know that moving can be a terrible thing. And I have to tell you that of all of those 6 moves that I've made over the past few years, the one that I made recently from Kent to New Milford may have been the worst of all. First of all, with Mom's passing, I had very little time to get ready for it. Then on moving day, the mover showed up 2.5 hours late, which meant, of course, that they got finished more like 3 hours late. When they were done, the move ended up costing about $1,300 more than the estimate. In fact, it cost me almost half as much to move from Kent to New Milford as it cost to move me and Mom all the way from Pennsylvania to Kent. And after that, I had to keep going back and forth to the old house here in Kent because there was stuff that the movers didn't move. So, like I said, it was pretty much a nightmare experience. And it may be that you've had a move like that at one time or another in your life. But I have to say, there is one good thing about moving. Actually, I suppose there are 2 good things about moving. The first good thing about moving is that when you have to move all your stuff and you open boxes that maybe you haven't touched in years, every once in a while you find that you own some swell stuff that you didn't know you had. For example, when I moved, I opened a box and I discovered I had this very cool tweed hat. So I suppose that's one benefit of moving. The other one, and I guess this is the more important one, is that moving sort of gives you a chance for a fresh start. You're in a new house, in a new neighborhood, maybe in a new town. It's a chance to do things you haven't done before, to go places maybe you haven't go to before, to have new experiences and to meet new people. So while moving is overall a fairly ghastly thing, it does at least have that going for it. It's a chance for a new start. But you don't have to move to have a chance for a new start. This coming Sunday is Thanksgiving Sunday here in church. It's also going to be Christ the King Sunday, which means it is the final Sunday of the current church year. And then the Sunday after that, November 28th, is going to be the first Sunday in Advent, and the church year begins again. And the thing about New Year's, whether that's a new calendar year or a new church year, is that they're an opportunity for a fresh start. They're an opportunity to think about maybe doing things or making resolutions to do things that you haven't done before, or maybe that you didn't do all that well the year before. So, as we're getting ready to begin a new church year in just a couple of weeks, I'd like to encourage you to take that as an opportunity to make sort of a fresh spiritual start, and maybe make a couple of, new church year resolutions. What sort of resolutions can you make? Well, I suppose one thing you might resolve to do would be to spend more time reading the Bible. All you need to do that is a Bible and a chair. It's pretty simple. Or if you want to make it even simpler than that, you could sign up for our Monday evening Bible study. We're getting about a dozen people a week signed up for that, and I'm pretty sure they don't come just to keep me from feeling lonely. That could be a good opportunity for you to study the Bible more and find out more about it. Make a good spiritual resolution. Another thing you might resolve to do is to spend more time in prayer. And you don't even need a Bible or a chair for that. I mean, the great thing about prayer is you can do it literally anywhere. You can do it first thing in the morning before you get out of bed. You can do it as you're driving to work. You can do it while you're stuck in traffic. There's literally no time or no situation when you can't pray. Your prayers don't have to be long or fancy. They just have to be heartfelt. You just have to talk to God about the things that are important to you. Your concerns for yourself, your family and friends, the world. The sort of thing I mean. Maybe that's a resolution you could make for this new church year, maybe to spend more time in prayer. And maybe a last resolution that I can suggest is perhaps spending more time in church. Because now that we have both church in person and church online, there's really no reason not to be in worship every week, because with the services on YouTube, you can go to church whenever you want. If you're out of town or if you're under the weather or whatever it is, you don't have to be here physically in the sanctuary at 10 in the morning, although we'd love to see you. You can join us for worship literally any time that it's convenient for you. So that's another resolution you might make, is maybe to spend more time in church, like I said, whether it's physically here or online. That's about it. That's all I had for this week. Just wanted to let you know about the Blue Christmas service, and encourage you maybe to think about making a few new church year resolutions when that new church year begins in just a couple of weeks. So that's it. Thanks.